So I discovered Aditi in one of my classes, and I told her, Aditi, you'll qualify in one go if you work hard. And then she was having some doubts. Could doubt tha. Maybe Aditi was, not feeling very equipped with ideas. Then I thought of, supporting her mentally. बाकी she was already talented. मेरा कोई श्रेय नहीं है, उसको just guide किया मैंने. और उस moment मैंने इससे कहा था कि अदिति, आज से कम कुछ साल बाद तुम जब मुझसे मिलोगी तो तुम बोलोगे से अच्छा कर रहे हो. And that was it. Then firstly she qualified for the IIMs. और ये पहली बंदी ऐसी जो कहती मेरा IIM में मन नहीं लगा. इसका IIM में मन नहीं लगा, इसने दोबारा कैट लिखा, बोलिए मुझे एक्सेल जाना है. This is what happens when you join a league of the extraordinary gentlemen. उस लीग में जाके सोच विचार माइंडसेट सब बदल जाता है. तो उसको मालूम पड़ा कि जिस IIM में मैंने ज्वाइन किया है, which IIM ज्वाइन करती, कौन सा आपने IIM ज्वाइन किया?
IIM रोहतक.
रोहतक ज्वाइन किया है इसने. यहाँ पर कितने लोग कॉल रोहतक से है? सौम्या की रोहतक वाली कॉल है. तो रोहतक को इन्होंने त्याग दिया. ऑलराइट, इन्होंने रोहतक को त्याग दिया. इन्होंने सीधे बोला कि नहीं, आई थिंक मे बी आई डिजर्व बेटर, एंड इट इज वी आर ऑल एंटाइटल्ड टू डिजर्व बेटर थिंग्स. वी ऑल आर एंटाइटल्ड टू से थिंग्स. वी हैव अ पर्सपेक्टिव. सो अर्जी को लगा मेरा पर्सपेक्टिव है कि मुझे इससे हायर एम करना. तो शी एक्वायर्ड द ज़ेन मोड में आ गई. एंड कि मैं फिर से कैट लिखूंगी. और ये बहुत ही टाकी जॉब होता है, जिसका कैट एक बार निकल गया और वो IIM में एंट्री कर दिया, उस आदमी को दोबारा मन नहीं करता कि मैं पीछे देखूं, फिर से कैट लिखूं, दोबारा से वही बुक्स. मेरे बस की नहीं है यार. But I don't know, this girl, she is gifted, and she has a lot of gifts. What do you call? She is the prodigal child, and she is stubborn. Then this girl, she studied again. She wrote CAT again, and my God, she was again for the interviews. और लगातार उसने CAT दिया, I guess 2 साल दिया CAT ऑफ, इसने क्वालिफाई भी किया, and finally she is an Xlri. And Xlri is like the league of extraordinary MBAs. HR के लिए one of the best reputed institute in the world. World rating में काफी आगे है Xlri. बाकी वो खुद बताएगी. We'll hear from the horse's mouth. So Aditi, welcome to the show. First of all, आज Aditi मैम कहूंगा मैं आपको. She's मैम.
So please, that's a lot.
नहीं, मैम देने का मतलब ये नहीं कि मैम तुम हुई, लेकिन मेरा मतलब है कि things have changed. और ये मैं छोटा सा एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग आपको कहावत सुनाऊंगा. It's a very interesting thought I have. I wonder a lot. Do you? If you do, then you follow me and I'll follow you. Following each other, we shall discover the guru and the disciple. And be not surprised if the identities interchange. That's the magic of circumstances. तो कभी गुरु चेला बन जाता है, कभी चेला गुरु बन जाता है. हमें एक्सेप्ट करना बहुत जरूरी है. जो एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर पाता, इसका मतलब माइंडसेट से थोड़ा पीछे है. बुरा आदमी नहीं है, माइंडसेट पीछे है, रिग्रेसिव माइंडसेट. इसीलिए टुडे आई विल कॉल यू Aditi मैम, एंड यू ऑल कैन विश. भैया गुड इवनिंग बोलो, नमस्ते से करो यार सब लोग फटाफट.
गुड इवनिंग मैम.
विशाखा, विषय बोलो बेटा, नमस्ते बोलो. मैम.
Hello everyone. Good evening.
Yes, चलो, वेरी नाइस. सो Aditi, आप प्रोटोकॉल ये है कि हम सब लोग को जो है बारी बारी एक 30 सेकंड का एलिवेटर पिच बोलते हैं MBA में, तो वो हम इनको बोलेंगे देने के लिए. एलिवेटर पिच सब लोग दीजिए, मतलब कैजुअल देंगे, उसके बाद हम लोग शुरू करेंगे इंटरव्यूज. लेकिन पहले एलिवेटर पिच के बाद Aditi विल टेल हर रैग्स टू रिचेस स्टोरी, एंड देन she's the Rocky Balboa, I know. So she'll tell about her rags to riches story, and then Aditi will one by one take the interviews. We'll get the feedback, and the show is up, right? मैं Aditi आपको यहाँ से छोड़ दूंगा. I'll leave your hand because ये मेरी expertise नहीं है, इसलिए मैं इससे out हूँ. Like Shark Tank pitch, ठीक है? So फटाफट अर्पित त्रिपाठी अपना परिचय दीजिए फटाफट. Casual, not formal. Tell me something about yourself. नहीं पूछ रहे हम लोग अभी, वो बाद में मैम पूछेंगे आपसे. अभी अपना casual परिचय दीजिए फटाफट.
Hello everyone. My name is Arpit Tripathi. I'm from Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh. I am currently preparing for interviews for top B schools in the country. My hobbies are that I am a cricket enthusiast and I read newspaper in my free time.
चलो ठीक है, कैजुअल नहीं साउंड किया वही वाला आंसर. एनीवेज, नैनिश सिंह. नैनिश, तुम्हारे पास चैलेंज है. चैलेंज विद यू इज यू हैव टू गिव द सेम इंट्रोडक्शन इन हिंदी. आपको अपना परिचय हिंदी में देना है. हिंदी बताइए अपने बारे में, आप कहाँ से हैं, कौन है?
सर मेरा नाम नैनिश वीर सिंह है.
नमस्कार दोस्तों, मेरा नाम नैनिश सिंह है. ऐसे बोलो बेटा.
नमस्कार दोस्तों, मेरा नाम नैनिश वीर सिंह है. मैं गोरखपुर का निवासी हूँ. मैंने अपनी स्कूलिंग और कॉलेज गोरखपुर से ही की है.
बहुत बढ़िया.
और मेरी हॉबीज इंक्लूड करती हैं फुटबॉल देखना, स्नूकर खेलना, एंड
चलेगा इतना काफी. वेरी नाइस. सौम्या सिंह इन हिंदी फटाफट.
नमस्कार एवरीवन, मेरा नाम सौम्या है. मैं लखनऊ से हूँ. करंटली फिलहाल मैं आईएम के इंटरव्यूज के लिए तैयारी कर रही हूँ। मुझे अपने फ्री टाइम में किताबें पढ़ना और नृत्य करना पसंद है।
वाह, बहुत बढ़िया, बेहतरीन। आकांक्षा?
सबको मेरा नमस्कार। मैं आकांक्षा हूँ, मैं लखनऊ में रहती हूँ। मैं फ्री टाइम में ड्राइंग करना, एस्केप गेम खेलना और डायरी एंट्री करना पसंद करती हूँ।
बहुत बढ़िया। अंकिता?
हेलो एवरीवन, मेरा नाम अंकिता श्रीवास्तव है। मैं लखनऊ की रहने वाली हूँ। मुझे अपने फ्री टाइम में गाना गाना बहुत पसंद है और मैंने इसके लिए इंडियन आइडल में भी पार्टिसिपेट किया था, जिसके लिए मैं सेलेक्ट भी हुई थी। बट मेरा उस ईयर बोर्ड था, तो फिर मैं उसके लिए नहीं गई थी। Thank
वेरी
you.
नाइस, ब्रिलियंट। सौम्य कुमार सिंह? सौम्य? सौम्य कुमार सिंह किसका नाम है? लो, हैंग कर गया वो। Soumya, are you there? Aditi, can you hear me? All of you, can you hear me? Guys, can you hear me? Are you all there?
Rudra, if you could go next.
हाँ, सॉरी यार।
नमस्ते, मेरा नाम रुद्र प्रताप निर्वाणा है। मैं एक इंजीनियरिंग ग्रेजुएट हूँ और मुझे आगे जाकर कैफे खोलना है। धन्यवाद।
ब्रिलियंट। कैफे खोल, नाराजगी में खोल रहा है कैफे क्या? थोड़ा प्यार से बोल यार, मुझे कैफे खोलना है। हाँ, थोड़ा प्यार से।
So, do you remember last year during our interviews also there was one guy who wanted
Oh my God, इनको दिखाया था मैंने ये बंदा, इन सबको दिखाया था मैंने। Do you all recall that guy, the BJP fan, the motivational speaker? Yes, yes, yes. चलो उसी के बारे में बात कर रही है। वो फेमस हो गया भैया। अच्छा, उसका वीडियो डाला नहीं मैंने YouTube पे, तो पक्का वायरल होता। Anyways, so that will be it, Aditi. The ball is in your court, and I think you are a better judge. So welcome, Aditi, and you can start. Tell about your story first. 5 minutes about story, and then we can start. Aditi, you have to time the interview yourself. Only 4 to 5 candidates. First is Arpit Tripathi. Second is
Okay.
Soumya Singh. Arpit है, सौम्या है, सौम्य कुमार सिंह है, एंड विशाखा है, एंड रुद्र है। बाकी अंकिता, आकांक्षा और नैनिश का इंटरव्यू अभी नहीं लेना है, बिकॉज अभी दे आर नोवाइस एंड इनको थोड़ा भी हैंड होल्डिंग करनी पड़ेगी। और तो 3 लोगों को छोड़ के, बारिंग अंकिता, आकांक्षा एंड नैनिश, दे ऑल आर इंटरव्यू एस्पिरेंट्स एंड यू जस्ट हैव टू इंटरव्यू देम एंड गिव देम फीडबैक्स। ऑलराइट,
Sure.
that will be it. And time the interview 10 minutes maximum for the interview, 2-minute feedback. That will be it.
Sure.
All right. So all the best, Aditi. Have a nice day. And Aditi, you can wrap it with a pep talk by the end. Once you are done with the interviews, 5 interviews maximum. Wrap with a pep talk. Uplift their morale if it is possible to no uplift. And rest is all history. Okay. So all the best, guys. Have a nice day. Aditi, you have a laptop, right?
Yeah.
तो मैं आपको यहाँ से access दे रहा हूँ. You're the host now. You can share anything you want.
Sure. Thank you.
All the best. Bye, guys. Take care.
Bye, sir.
So, hi everyone. Something about me is I'm Aditi. I'm from Kanpur. I've always been a book enthusiast. I love to read books. I've read, I think my highest record is 52 in a year. I completed my graduation in biotechnology from Kanpur University only. Initially, I was a medical enthusiast who wanted to turn a cardiologist and stuff, but that didn't turn out. So then I switched to MBA. And my first year of CAT prep was in my city only while I was doing biotechnology. And the basic reason for doing that was that I knew I was pretty fluent in English and I wanted to, expand on that, maybe go into a managerial role or something. So yeah, that worked out well. So the first CAT I attempted was in 2020. And I had a few calls and I converted IIM Rohtak. And I joined the college as well. I did 1 full year of MBA from there. Then while I was studying over there, I wasn't really satisfied with what I received over there. And I wanted, that I'm striving for one of the top 5 colleges of the country. So that being a dream, I wanted to give CAT again, but you never know what will happen in that exam. So I couldn't really completely leave MBA over there, and I had to maintain a CGPA and continue with the summer internship processes and everything. So that being said, I was a part of IIM Rohtak for the entire year, and then I had my summer internship in a pharmaceutical company. It was a marketing and sales internship, which I think maybe you guys are familiar with. Sir shared my introduction, and it was Integrates Health based out of Mumbai. And my role was pretty much a market research sort of project where I had to understand the consumer mindset, consumers being the doctors initially, their mindset regarding how they perceive the drug to be, if the price point is okay or not, if the kind of marketing being done by pharmaceutical companies is enough. So for that, I stayed in Mumbai, but I traveled a lot and I went to Kolkata a few times, Bhubaneswar, and a few other places where I interviewed over 90 to 100 doctors. And then my job was to analyze all that data and come up with some strategy that we could use to basically, increase the mind share of the drug in doctor's mind. And that being done, meanwhile, I was also appearing for my CAT interviews round 2, which was this year. And this year I managed to crack that, and I got selected in Xlri. And now I'm here. It's a very different life. I've gotten placed in Dabur for my summers 2023. And I hope I'll make the best of it. It's again a sales and marketing role because marketing and strategy is my primary area of focus. And that being said, so I think the rest of the familiarity with the MBA life can be done after the interviews. And okay, so Arpit, would you like to go first?
Yes, ma'am, sure.
Sure. So, hi Arpit, please tell me something about yourself.
Good evening, ma'am. My name is Arpit Tripathi. I'm from Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh. I have completed my graduation from Brahmanand College, Kanpur, and I have completed my schooling from Guru Har Rai Academy, Kanpur, where I was fortunate enough to be part of various activities and events. I was a part of my school's cricket team where I went on to become the vice captain. That helped me gain the confidence to be a part of to take on other roles of responsibilities. Like being the flag bearer of my school's flag in the March Past event at the Silver Jubilee celebration of my school. And I was the team leader of my team in the Maths on Edo competition. My hobbies are that I am a cricket enthusiast and I read newspaper in my free time.
Okay, so Arpit, are you currently pursuing the graduation or is it already complete?
Ma'am, it is completed.
Okay, so you mean to say it was completed in 2022?
2021.
Okay, and what are the major skills that you might have gained over the past year?
In the past year, I gave CAT in 2021. But it did not go that well. I gave a few interviews, but I decided that I can do better. So I prepared again for the CAT, and I also taught a few students during that time which I got. So this was what I was doing for the past year.
Okay, what sort of students were you teaching? School students or something?
School students. I was teaching as a personal tutor.
Okay, great. So you tell me that you read a newspaper, and could you tell me the highlights of yesterday's Republic Day celebration?
Ma'am, in yesterday's Republic Day celebration, the chief guest was the president of Egypt, Mr. Abdel Fattah LCC, if I'm not wrong in the pronunciation. And after that, Mr. Narendra Modi and the president of Egypt, they had a meeting there where they also decided that India and Egypt will cooperate on various activities such as in terrorism. They will be holding military drills together, the military of India and Egypt. Also, they will be sharing technologies like which India has developed over the past years in UPI and others, cloud technologies. In Republic Day Parade, I am not aware as such what happened there.
Sure. What is your field of graduation?
Ma'am, I have completed my graduation in BCom.
BCom. Okay. So, do you think that you like economics?
Yes, ma'am, I can say that I liked economics.
Okay. And what about finance?
Finance, ma'am, I specialized in finance in my final year, but I liked economics more than finance.
Sure. Can you tell me some of the key financial ratios?
Key financial ratios, current ratio, debt to equity ratio, then there is one more that we study before investing in a company. I'm forgetting that.
Sure. Have you decided on what specialization do you want to pursue once you join an MBA college?
Ma'am, right now I think that I will go for finance because I studied in my final year. But first, I would like to study all the domains in my first year. Then I will be able to take an informed decision in my second year.
Okay. Other than that, your cricket enthusiasm, what else do you bring to the table? Why should we select you?
Ma'am, I think that I believe that I have the qualities of teamwork, leadership, discipline, and good communication. So that is what I can bring to the table in a B school.
How do you think that you have good teamwork skills? Can you give me an example of that?
Yes, ma'am. I was a part of my school's cricket team. Apart from it, I was also the team leader of my team in the maths tornado competition. And also I was the flag bearer of my school's flag, which was a team build in which it is a team building activity. I was coordinating with other team members in the school in the Silver Jubilee celebration. I was coordinating the event with the other team members. So that helped me gain the team building qualities, I would say.
Okay. So if you could tell me your percentage marks in 10th, 12th, and maybe graduation also.
In 10th, I got 80%. In 12th, I got 77.6. And in graduation, the cumulative percentage was 65%.
Okay. And what all calls do you have?
Ma'am, I had a call from IIM Rohtak, the interview was held on 20th of Jan. After that, I have an interview for IMT Ghaziabad. And after I have calls from IIM Vishakhapatnam and CAP calls. I'm also hoping for a call from IMI Delhi.
Okay, sure. So you tell me that you've taught a few students in your free time, let's suppose. What all how do you think it has benefited you as a person?
I would say that it has helped me academically more than as a person, because I was able to revise the maths topics, like teaching the students of class 8th and 9th, helped me to gain the basics that I really needed to brush upon. That improved my percentile in CAT also, in the quant section. In person, I can't recall right now what.
Can you tell me your two weaknesses?
Yes, ma'am. My weakness would be that sometimes I take time in arriving at a decision, which is where I'm currently working on. And second weakness is that I need to improve my time management skill.
Don't you think those two weaknesses are kind of overlapping?
No, ma'am. So sometimes I take time in arriving at a decision. So that is where I believe that I'm not pretty confident which way to go. And in time management is different, I believe.
So you say that you take time in arriving decisions, but you are pursuing, trying to, aspiring for MBA and being a manager. It's all about how quick you can make your decisions. So exactly how are you working on it, and how do you think that you will be able to, stand up to the point when it's needed?
Ma'am, I'm currently, like I said, that I'm currently working on it. I have learned that I have to be clear upon my goal, and upon taking a decision, I look upon that it's there are two ways that I can go, two or three ways. I look at what is the decision that I take makes me go closer to my goal. So that is where I have worked upon to be clear on what I want.
Okay. Thank you, Arpit. That will be all.
Thank you.
So for the feedback, I think, first tell me, how do you think the interview went?
Ma'am, I lagged somewhere. In some places that I was stuck. It was a completely new interview. I have lots of interviews, but this gone in a completely different direction than any of the previous interviews have been. So I was caught there.
Sure. But you see, when I asked you about your two weaknesses, no, that was a very common question. And even in your MBA interviews, and once you get selected in some good college, even for your internship interviews, that will be present. It will be omnipresent. It will always be asked. And you need to have real clarity about what you're going to say. Because, see, both of your weaknesses were related to time management, taking time in arriving at a decision, and time management skills in general. It's kind of overlapping. So you need to make sure that what you're saying as two strengths or weaknesses, I didn't ask your strengths, are two separate things. And when you tell me that how exactly you're working on it, and you need to make sure that there's a very clear plan that you convey to me, because I need to know that you are a candidate who can who understands where he lacks and how he can improve. Unless you show it to me that way, then I won't be able to judge whether or not you will be able to stand as a good candidate in MBA, because MBA is a very high pressure thing. Other than that, okay, your knowledge about the Republic Day thing was okay. It was fair enough. What you could have also said was have a few numbers in your head, like that what's the trade target? What's it about? It's about $12 billion or something right now, and that they have already been doing. So having some data points gives more validation to your answers, and it's always better to have it. You always need to back your any conjecture you have, any thought you have with data points. It's extremely important. Otherwise, no one will believe it. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
The name you said was fine, which I was actually kind of listening to very closely. The name was correct. And okay, the introduction was also pretty good. Another thing that you can be quizzed on is your percentages. They are not very high, they're not bad, but they can still ask you some justification for that. So you should be prepared. And other than that, yeah, okay, I think you're good to go.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Soumya Singh, can we have your interview next?
Yes, ma'am, please.
1 second. Okay, Soumya, what all calls do you have?
I have a call from IIM Indore, Shillong, Rohtak, Cap calls, and Amritsar.
Could you give me a brief background about yourself?
Sure. I'm Soumya from Lucknow. I completed my schooling here at City Montessori School, after which I pursued a bachelor's in life sciences at Ramjas College, Delhi University. And then I did a post-graduation in molecular and human genetics at BHU. During my school time, I've been very academically inclined and active in extracurricular activities. And in my spare time, I like to read and dance.
So you tell me that you are a genetics post-grad, if I'm right?
Yes.
Can you tell me something about CRISPR?
Sure. CRISPR is a gene editing technology that comes from a bacteria. So in CRISPR, what happens is that if you have one gene can be replaced by another gene, there can be deletion or addition of a new gene. The process by which that happens is that CRISPR has a cutting technology. So the enzymes in there, and they fight against the in the bacteria, and they used to fight against the foreign invaders. So that has been taken from the bacteria and now engineered. So using that, those enzymes, we can have a target on the DNA. That is a Cas site. The enzyme goes there, it cuts at a specific location in the DNA, and whatever gene we want to introduce or delete from that DNA, from that tract, can be done using CRISPR.
Who are the two main scientists associated with it?
I cannot recall the name right now. It's been a while.
Okay. So you say that you like to read and dance. What kind of books do you read?
I enjoy fiction books, mostly fantasy fiction most. And,
what's your favorite?
My favorite would be the Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan.
Okay, tell me any one story that you like. Why do you like it?
Sure. So the Percy Jackson series focuses on the main character who is put in various situations. The fantasy part of it is that he's a half-blood. That is, he's born to Greek parents and a human parent, so he possesses some supernatural skills. So what I like the most about that entire series is that he's put in different situations, and which are extremely bizarre and out of the world. There are monsters and things, and he uses his tact and presence of mind to get out of them, and different tools that he has to make up on the spot. So
you will be also placed in bizarre situations when you are pursuing MBA. How do you plan to navigate? What all qualities do you think you have that will help you?
Sure. I think I have good analytical thinking skills. Like I had an experience of working in the lab for my post-graduation. So there I picked up analytical thinking skills, like when a situation arises, how to analyze it, what are the drawbacks, what are the areas that we need to work on. Apart from that, I feel like I have good communication skills. I can work in teams because I was the school captain in my school for 4 years. So there I picked up how to work with people, how to take initiative and solve. And then apart from that, I think I'm organized. So I can I can organize my ideas and thoughts and convey it properly to work in.
Has being in the lab made you an introvert in any sense?
Made me an introvert? It's quite the opposite, actually, because we had to work in groups in the lab. It was, as a fresher situation, we were put in a group of 5. And there, if you didn't speak up, your chance would be gone. It was a competitive environment. So the more you speak and the more you discuss your ideas, that has helped me become more of an extrovert instead of being an introvert.
Okay, sure. What was your undergraduate specialization?
Life sciences. So it had all the 3 subjects: biology, zoology, and chemistry.
Okay. Your reason for picking science as your graduation, post-graduation, and then you're moving to MBA?
Sure. So initially, I always had an interest in biology throughout my school years, and then I picked a field in that area also. But while working in the lab during my postgrad, I got an exposure to the healthcare industry as a whole. And then I thought my skills would be better utilization in that industry, because ultimately whatever products that are being developed in the lab are picked up by companies that market and sell it. So I was more attracted toward that part. Apart from that, I think that I have a skill set which would be more of a benefit in a corporate world. For instance, I like working in groups, leadership skills, or communicating with people. And I feel like with the things that I've learned so far will give me a strong technical background. So if I work in a pharmaceutical or a healthcare or a biotech company, I would be a better, I would be able to use that knowledge in a better way. So
you say that you're interested in how the companies market their products, and you're coming from a very technologically oriented background. How do you think that you will cope up with the marketing aspect of it?
Sure. So I'm currently exploring the roles that are there, like what I will be able to get after an MBA. So in marketing, for instance, marketing research is something that that I have a little bit of idea of, because we've been working with data and labs. So marketing research is some of similar kind of field. So there I could be useful. Apart from that, strategy planning.
So market research is required when you launch a drug. Can you tell me a basic outline of how do you think a drug is usually launched? What are the steps required before actually putting a drug in the market?
Sure. So before actually putting a drug in the market, there have to be trials on different levels, phase 1, phase 2, and clinical trials before a drug. So that happens in the manufacture part of the drug, I believe. And then after that, I will have to look up on it more. Sorry.
What are your 2 weaknesses, Soumya?
Sure. My 2 weaknesses would be I'm often impatient. I talk very fast. So that is something that I'm working on. And apart from that, related weakness would be I am often verbose. I tend to write down too many words to express. So,
if you're impatient, then how will you lead teams who are maybe slow in working, or have members who are work at a very different pace from each other?
So I think my impatience is more directed on my will to express my ideas faster, not in dealing with people. With people, I can be patient. But with how I talk very fast, that is the area that I'm more impatient on, that I sometimes focus too much on a problem or too little on a need to get to the conclusion faster. So that is something I'm working on. With people, I can be patient. I have that experience while working in teams in school. So as a house captain, I was in charge of 150 people. And in the council team, we were a group of 23 people. So we had different kinds of personalities. So I got a chance to interact with people there, and how to convince people to work more harder.
So when you join a college, do you hope to be very academically oriented, or do you think that you will be open to exploring the extracurricular activities as well?
Sure. I think I have always been academically oriented. That has always been a goal that I have had. But in college, in an experience like MBA, I would definitely be more towards the extracurricular activities as well. I'll try to manage both, because I feel like MBA is a personality development experience overall. So the extracurriculars will help me gain skills that I lack. Academics, of course, is an important part that I hope to manage along with the extracurriculars.
Apart from fantasy fiction, do you read anything else?
I tend to pick up any book that interests me. I don't have a genre apart from fantasy fiction, but currently I've been reading Nudge, a book called Nudge, and the Gita. So
how do you think it is benefiting you?
It is benefiting me. Sure. So Nudge is a book that is about that I've currently picked up. So Nudge is helping me gain a different perspective, because it's more of a book that shares how people, you can direct choices of different people how the government can, or how organizations can. So it is bringing to my light how people think and different perspectives. And the Gita is an introspection-based book, so it is making me more aware of what I lack, what I need to discover, and what path I need to take. So these are the things.
Okay, cool. So coming to the feedback, yeah, you talk pretty fast. Try to slow that down.
Yes. Okay.
And how do you think your interview was?
It felt like it didn't have any special points. It didn't make me stand out from anybody else. I feel like everybody would be giving generic answers like this only. So.
Yeah, everybody would tell an MBA prof who will be interviewing you that I'm good with communication and I can work well with people and I'm organized. So there you maybe, if you can think of something that makes you stand out of the box a little bit, then that would be good. Other than that, you were holding the mic constantly while you were talking.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, so you shouldn't do that. It distracts the professor or whoever's interviewing you from what you're saying because it's constantly moving. Okay, so if you think that your the mic volume is not perfect, test that, adjust that. If you need a new set of earphones, get that. Just try not to hold the mic during an interview. Sure. Okay, yeah. So you tell me that the marketing is something that interests you, but you don't know how a drug goes into a market. So for that, you need to understand that there goes a lot of research behind it. You need to talk to the doctors. You need to understand what the competitors are doing. And if there are already things like, drugs with similar formulas present in the market, then you need to understand for the price point, how will you promote it? Because promotions for medicines are generally centered around doctors who are prescribing them. And for that kind of a promotion happens in a very different way than your normal FMCG products. So for that, you need a whole different set of understanding. So when you say that you want to, explore marketing as your focus area, yes, and how you want to shift, then you need to have a little understanding of that as well. Weakness, you told me that you talk fast, you're verbose, you're impatient because you will to express your idea very fast. I think that's okay. Though patient. There's still a little bit of overlap, I feel, but more I think you can confirm with sir. And it's good that you knew about CRISPR. You told me that you like fiction, and I happen to have read Percy Jackson as well. So when you're telling me that you like Percy Jackson and what you like about it, you should maybe try to connect it with what you think as a person it's maybe improving you, or maybe like when I had to ask you upfront that MBA has a bizarre situation kind of thing and you have to think out of the box, that is something which should come from you.
Okay.
That's how the main character you should be telling me that the character does this, so maybe like I can also have something like this in my life, because I used to say that it works. It's a little hoax of an answer, but it works. And okay, so I also have a similar background. I also love to read and dance. What exactly do you do in dance?
Dance, I have a major interest, but I'm not trained in it. So I usually freestyle and watch shows and things like that.
You'll get ample opportunities in MBA colleges to dance. Like I am also the head of the dance club in my college. It's nice. Super fun. And there are a lot of activities and events that happen for which you have to, come up with choreos and stuff. So I think you should be open to exploring all that also, and you should express your willingness to not just be focused on academics, because academics is a part, but everything else is an equally important part. You'll have to be part of clubs and committees. You'll have to have an overall personality development while you're over here. So you'll be requiring that. So just express your willingness to be out there and explore new opportunities. And this. Obviously, just 1 second. You told me that you've been recently reading Nudge and the Gita. So while I was clear with what you're trying to gauge from Gita, I wasn't very clear with what you're trying to get from Nudge. So I think that was maybe because you were talking too fast, or your answer wasn't framed properly.
Exactly.
Yeah. So just maybe read the blur beforehand, and as you explore the book. So you can just have a more clear answer for that. Yeah, you had a question.
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I have 2 questions, ma'am, because your field is also pretty similar to what I have done. So most of the questions I've been getting in the interviews are domain specific, like which field you want to explore, because they require more clarity from somebody who's switching a field. So I have been more interested in marketing research and strategy. So my question is like, how has your technical background helped in any of those fields? Because you are also, you have had an internship in marketing research and then in strategy.
You see, when you come, once you come over here, what your background is not really a hurdle, because they really want to check your present knowledge. When you're getting placed for internships, so except for Rohtak, all the colleges have a process which happens in maybe September, October, and it gets ended by then. So then they expect you to have very little knowledge of whatever's happening in the college. But what helped me was that I just had, so my first internship which I got from IIM Rohtak was in a pharmaceutical company. It didn't actually help a lot. The only benefit point was that I had some idea of what the doctors were talking when they were talking about the medicines. So I could, kind of connect with them on a better level. And I could understand what they were trying to say, not just from a regular sales or a marketer point of view, and from a scientific point of view as well. So they're more willing to talk to you about that, and you will just have an easier way around understanding the technical stuff.
So like I usually mention that as a plus that I have, that if I say that during my YMB answer, because that is something that I've been struggling with the most, that why do you want to switch? So I say usually that a tech background, and if I work in a pharmaceutical company, that would aid me. So then the follow-up question comes that how it helps you, or how whatever domain that you're picking, because I'm currently confused about which specialization to choose. It's too early to choose. So,
but say in your when you're 23, 24, or like I'm presuming that is the age bracket. So they expect you to have some clarity because you're going to pursue a post-graduation course, and in your case you've already done one post-graduation course. So they expect you to know very clearly what you're going to do, and for that they also understand that people want to switch, the interests change over time, you grow as a person, but it's their duty to ask, and you can only defend it in this way that your technical knowledge provides you a better base for building up with the marketing knowledge and anything that you'll get during the MBA. Plus you can add, add some personality POV questions, answers that they'll help you in this way. The MBA will make you grow as a person in a very professional way, in personal way, and work with very different people, because over here there are like hundreds of people who are from very different backgrounds. So you get to really know a lot of people, a lot of things. Everybody knows something you don't. So when you enter so you can just kind of just mix that up. And okay, I think that will be all. Any more questions you have?
Yes, one last question. What were the field-related questions that you were asked, like academic-based? Because currently I gave an interview with Rohtak and they asked me about chameleon and zebra strips, which is not related to biology as such.
They can ask you anything. Okay. What I used to get asked was mostly things like DNA fingerprinting and electrophoresis and like the general stuff.
Okay. That I'm okay with.
If you want to particularly steer the interview in some direction, try to end your tell me about yourself answer in that way. That if I pursued a postgrad in this and this, where I studied, say, topic A and topic B. So it's likely that they'll follow up with topic A and topic B. You have a little bit of control over how the interview goes with your tell me about yourself answer. So it's best if you can use that opportunity.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay. Rudra, can we have you next?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Rudra. Tell me something about yourself.
Good evening, ma'am. My name is Rudra Pratap Nirvana. I'm a resident of Jaipur. I have completed my engineering from Manipal University, Jaipur, and schooling from Step by Step High School. My hobbies consist of brewing coffee, playing video games, reading, exercising, and meditation. My strengths are discipline, adaptability, and punctuality. And my weakness is that I tend to lose my cool in some situations. That's what it is, ma'am.
So you say that your strengths are discipline and how you can stick to the rules, but MBA requires a certain level of flexibility. How do you think you'll offer that?
Ma'am, one of my strengths is also adaptability. So I'll adapt to the situation as I see fit, but however, I'll also keep the rules and regulations in mind.
So you think you'll never break any rule?
Uh, yes, ma'am.
We'll see about that. Uh, what exactly do you mean when you say brewing coffee is your hobby?
Ma'am, it's more of a passion and it developed as a hobby and now it's a passion. So I make different types of coffees for myself, my parents, and my friends.
Everybody likes them.
Sorry, ma'am?
Everybody, sorry. I'm just asking you a rhetorical question. If everybody likes the coffee you brewed.
They say it's very good, ma'am.
How do you think it's gonna help you over here?
Ma'am, because one of my long-term goals is to open a cafe, and since it's a hobby, it coffee brewing will requires patience. It requires persistence, and it also requires precise measurement. So I think it will help me develop my skills in
Those were
MBA.
some big words you used: patience, persistence, and precise measurements. Anyways, what is your undergrad subject?
BTech, ma'am, triple E, electrical and electronics engineering.
So can I, give you an umbrella term of being a technological enthusiast?
Yes, ma'am, somewhat.
Do you know what's Darwin box?
Sorry, ma'am?
Do you know what's Darwin box?
No, ma'am, I've heard of Schrodinger's box, but I haven't heard of Darwin's box.
And maybe you know what's Amagi?
Sorry, ma'am, what?
Amagi, AMAGI.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So you also tell me that you're a meditation and exercise enthusiast, right?
Yes, ma'am.
What exactly do you do?
In meditation, ma'am, I sit for about an hour, close my eyes, and focus on my breathing. And exercising, ma'am, I focus more on isometric exercises, which use body weight to exercise the body, ma'am.
Do you have any goals in mind when you think about exercise?
Yes, ma'am, I want to be fit in body and in mind, ma'am.
Okay. What do you read, Rudra?
Ma'am, I read science fiction, and real life stories.
Tell me something you read latest.
Ma'am, I read Papillon. Its author is Henry Sharire. It it details the story of him being imprisoned in the French Guiana and his escape to Argentina through Venezuela.
What did you learn from that book?
Ma'am, the author is, of course, it's a sort of an autobiography, and he has a never say die attitude, ma'am. He doesn't give up no matter what situation he's in. He keeps on trying to escape.
Okay. What do you bring to the table for MBA?
Ma'am, I bring my communication skills. I have a certain flexibility and am adaptable. And ma'am, since I am punctual and disciplined, I think that will help bring something to the table, ma'am.
And are you interested in any extracurricular activities?
Ma'am, I played sports in school, football, basketball, air rifling, and swimming, ma'am.
Okay. You played football. Do you follow football?
No, ma'am, I played sports simply for be to stay fit and as a social activity, something to do with my friends, ma'am.
So don't you normally hang out with your friends? Do you need a particular activity to actually interact with them?
No, ma'am, I'm fine on my own too, but it's just fun playing sports with your friends, especially in school.
Did you pick up any activity while you were pursuing your graduation?
No, ma'am.
Why?
Ma'am, I had medical issues in graduation, which brought down my grades. So I had difficulty focusing on my academics, and I couldn't take up extracurriculars at that time, ma'am.
Sure. What all calls do you have right now?
Ma'am, I have no calls as of yet, but I'm expecting some, ma'am.
Okay. What was your strongest subject in your CAD exam? Like, where did you score the highest?
English, ma'am. Bark.
Sure. So would you say you have a decent knowledge of words and paraphrasing, etc.?
Yes, ma'am, you could say that.
So what I can gauge, you tell me that you're flexible, but you tell me that you're disciplined also. Being an MBA requires a certain level of social skills. You will need to work with a lot of different people in high time crunch situations. How do you think you'll manage those?
Ma'am, regarding my background, ma'am, I've lived almost all over the country. I've interacted with a variety of people from from the northern and the northeastern states specifically, even Punjab. So I will be able to understand where they come from better, and hence will be able to communicate with them better, ma'am.
Okay. Why are you trying to pursue MBA after a technological undergraduation route?
Ma'am, after at the end of my graduation, I realized that I do not want to pursue engineering any further because, of course, my percentage wasn't anything to brag about, and I sort of lost interest along the way. Hence, I wish to pursue MBA in order to fulfill my long-term goal of opening a business myself, ma'am.
When did you first have the thought that you want to pursue engineering?
Ma'am, back in 11th at the end of our papers, ma'am.
And you lost interest halfway through your engineering. What is the guarantee that you won't lose interest in MBA? It's also a 2-year program with a very high pressure situations.
Ma'am, for one, it won't have any engineering subjects, of course. I'm not very good with science, chemistry, and physics, so I believe I'll be able to manage.
So you think that finance and accounts and marketing are very easy subjects?
No, ma'am, they're not easy. However, they're not the actual physics or chemistry, maths. So, I mean, biology. So I might develop interest in them during my pursuance.
You make it sound like what we study here and what we teach here is not as interesting or tough as science could be. Considering I also have a science background and I still have, had issues while I was trying to focus on subjects over here.
Ma'am, with determination, I will be able to get through.
But that determination wasn't present while you were doing engineering.
No, ma'am, I lost it halfway, ma'am.
We could circle in with this question for a long time. But okay, what do you read in fiction?
Ma'am, fiction, sorry, ma'am, it was science fiction, ma'am. No, I read, the last book I read was Mario Puzo's The Godfather.
Yeah. What did you learn? Another, I will say, die attitude?
No, ma'am, I did not really learn anything from that book. Only that you need to be smart in order to make it through the world. That's about it, ma'am.
What do you think before buying a book? Say, starting to read a book, not buying.
Starting to read a book. Ma'am, first off, I check the back cover to see let's say, a summary of the book. Then I go online to read the genre. And at the start, if I find it interesting or it has a message to convey, then I keep reading through.
So you would want every book that you read to have a very purposeful background to it, right?
No, ma'am, some books are during my school days were required, so I read them anyway, such as my history books. But in order to keep it as a hobby, ma'am, I will have to find the book interesting.
Okay, that will be all. How do you think your interview was?
Not good, ma'am.
Why?
Ma'am, because I felt that my answers weren't really convincing enough.
So, okay. So, first of all, a few personal things. When you're talking to the interviewer, try to pin their picture, like pin maybe the call or something, so that you end up looking in the front. You were constantly, I think my video was somewhere here. So you were constantly looking over there. So there was no eye contact. I understand it's difficult to maintain eye contact while on a video call, but you still have to try to maintain it, because otherwise, it reduces the authenticity of your answers. Please smile. Please. The interviewer has had a long day of interviewing, I think at least 40 candidates. And if they would love to have a refreshing face. You might end up with the last interview of the day, and you do not want them to, see that you lack the positive energy that they need. Maybe the positive energy is what gets you through, what makes them more interested in your interview than others. Okay. Other than that, coffee, meditation, reading. So I didn't ask you, but I had hoped to ask exactly how is MBA, you're doing engineering, then you're doing MBA, then you want to open a cafe. Can you connect those dots for me right now?
I'm through the acumen of math I gain in engineering, I might be able to perform in MBA. And through that, ma'am, I've always wanted to open a business. So I believe that pursuing an MBA degree would equip me with the skills, the knowledge, the network, and the experience required in order to open and run a successful business, ma'am.
Okay, so see, your engineering, you studied a lot of subjects. I think it was a 4-year course, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, ma'am.
Just saying that you bring maths acumen to the table is a very small aspect of it.
Yes, ma'am.
You should be able to, connect it with your entire engineering experience. Okay. When did your engineering complete?
2019, ma'am.
Okay. What have you done since then?
I was appearing for a civil service exam, ma'am.
Sure. Why didn't you mention that?
I didn't find the need to, ma'am.
Okay. So, you're coming off as a little set in your means. When you told me that you lost interest in engineering and the subjects weren't getting too difficult, but you think you can cope up with MBA, it was a little demeaning to the MBA subjects. And trust me, MBA is not easy. It looks very glamorous from outside, but it has its own difficulties. You have to manage everything. You have to run on 3 hours sleep a day, especially if you get into one of the top institutes of the country. 3 hours maximum. And you cannot be sour about it. You have to have a happy face. You have to constantly work with different people in maybe the same day, working on 5 different projects. You'll have presentations every day. So try not to sound even a little demeaning to that, which I felt, maybe it was not your intent, but I felt that in your answer. You read books. Okay. Exercises. Yeah. So when I asked you about what you do in meditation, I wasn't asking the functionality of it. I am very well familiar with that. I practice meditation exercise on a regular basis myself. What I want to understand is what you're gaining out of it. So once you've told me that I sit for an hour and I focus on my breathing, you have to tell me what is your purpose for doing meditation or exercising. Okay. Brewing coffee, patience, persistence, and precise measurements were big words. I could have really grilled you on that. And if you say those things to the interviewer, I am sure they will catch up to it. Because you said some like discipline, adaptability, flexibility, never say die attitude, patience, these three words. A lot of big words. Please make sure you have things in your personality or your examples to back them up when you're cross-questioned about it. You're not familiar about Darwin box and Amagi. It's okay, but you need to improve your current affair knowledge. You're from a tech background, and even though it is from Triple E, it's does not limit my questioning to anything even remotely related to technology. Yeah. Playing football in school was just a social activity to do with your friends. Also came off as a little stoic, and that you were doing them a favor by playing with them. So try not to say it out like that. You could say that I enjoyed football and cricket as more of a hobby, and I didn't really pursue it, but I enjoyed playing due to fitness and the free time it brought for me, etc. Okay, you are not doing a favor to your friend while playing it. Okay. Lived all over the country thing was okay. That how you connected it with people. You will be meeting people from everywhere. That was fine. I didn't question you or anything about your engineering, but I hope that even with this gap when you were preparing for civil services, you still have enough knowledge about that to drive you through the exam. Professors over there, like the interviewers are generally professors, and you'll have them from many different backgrounds. They have completed so many degrees you can't even count. And one of them is bound to be from an engineering background, and he'll definitely have 1,000 questions for you. So make sure that your knowledge about that is up to the mark. When I asked you what was your best performance in CAT, English was a sufficient answer. You did not have to say VARC. Plus, it's not VARC, it's VARC. You don't need to specify that. I'm already familiar with it. Okay. Lost interest halfway is it's kind of brings a very negative undertone to your answer, that you lost interest in your engineering curriculum, because that straightly gives me the chance to quiz you about what will happen if you lose interest in MBA curriculum, because it also gets very tough sometimes. Okay, that will be all. Please give me a 2-minute break, and then we'll interview Soumya Pratap Singh, if I'm pronouncing the name right.
It's Soumya Kumar Singh, ma'am.
Sorry, Soumya Kumar Singh. I didn't see you on the screen, so I read the name.
No problem, ma'am. No problem.
I can see Arpit smiling constantly. He was like, "Oh, Rudra said this thing." Anyways, okay. So Soumya, are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi. Interesting hairstyle. So, what all calls do you have?
Ma'am, I have some baby calls, baby IIM calls, IMI, IMT, Not the Ghaziabad one. Fort
Okay.
Delhi and Vishakhapatnam.
What was your CAT percentile?
88.88.
Cool. If you could tell me your undergrad and those percentages also.
Actually, I am currently pursuing BCom honors from Lucknow
Okay.
University. And till date, I have a score of 75%.
Good enough. 10th and 12th?
In 10th, I have scored around 75. In 12th, it's 68.
Fine. Okay, Soumya, introduce yourself.
Hello, ma'am. I am Soumya Kumar Singh. I belong to a city known for its delectable kebabs, Lucknow. I have completed my schooling from Lucknow Public College. There, I was not only in office wear but also awarded as the best office wear award. Uh, I am currently pursuing BCom honors from Lucknow University. My hobbies are video editing, thumbnail making, and voiceover for some social platform. During pandemic, I joined a startup for an indie game developer, and in their team, I was a lead story writer.
So, how did your video editing skills connect with you being the lead story writer or something for the startup?
Ma'am, video editing was my one of my like hobbies. I used to do them to enhance my video editing skills. Nowadays, on Instagram, reel section is getting popular. So, with the help of video editing skills, I can market or show one of the products of a company to the youth audience.
What field of what specialization do you aim to pursue in MBA?
Ma'am, actually, I want to be flexible. I know that there is a T-shaped curriculum. In the first year, we are exposed to business domains of different areas like marketing, operations, sales. And in the second area, we specialized in one area. So I want to be flexible.
So you don't really have a plan.
Till now, I don't have a keen interest in a particular field, but I would go
If you
with.
don't have a keen interest, then why are you, going to the pain of paying 20 to 30 lakhs for your education and then putting in 2 years of your time and everything?
Actually, ma'am, I don't know that which field will enhance me in a better growth opportunity. I Currently, I want to be flexible. In the first year, there I would be exposed to so many subjects, and I would see myself that in which subject I am performing well, where my interests are going on. So at that particular moment of time, I would decide to where move on.
So do you think your specialization will be based on how many marks you get in the first year?
Not only marks, but also on my interest. Like at
But if
presently, I think.
it depends. It's a rule in the colleges that whatever subjects you get in the second year will be based on how many marks you scored in them in the first year. So if you don't really know what you want to pursue later, how do you ensure that you score good marks before only?
I'm optimistic in nature, and I think that I would take it as a challenge. Each subject would be I would treat them like a challenge. I try my best in scoring the best mark in that particular subject, and after my full efforts, the result would show where I have to.
Okay. What was you were doing BCom honors, right?
Yes, ma'am.
What is your Are you familiar with the BCG matrix by any chance?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So you have video editing skills as a hobby, maybe, and you've worked with a startup also. Do you think you have gained anything that you'll be able to use over here?
I have gained that social skills. Like we used to talk on every night. There was a proper meeting in which we participate. There were we discuss about discussion what the character should be like there, what the next plot should be there. So I think that social skill would help me in MBA.
When did your graduation complete? Still pursuing?
Yes, ma'am. Still pursuing.
Okay. Do you have any other interests?
I have an interest in raising funds for animal adoption and poor children education.
What have you ever done anything significant in that field?
Okay, so there was a project assigned to us from our school that we were given a form. On that, we have to collect money. So we used to go and knock on each door to ask the amount for noble cause. But in today's generation, no people used to give money so easily. So what we did was me with my some friends organized 2-3 stalls of game in our local park. There we initiated parents and children to take participate in that activity for some about 10, 20 and 50 rupees token. After 7 days, we raised around 13 to 14,000 rupees and we gave it to our school. Then later it was given to our Lucknow Zoo and we adopted two deer.
Do you know what an angel investor is?
Sorry, ma'am.
Do you know what is or who is an angel investor?
According to me, an angel investor is someone who invests at an early stage or in an startup by taking some equity from that.
What's equity?
Ma'am, equity is a sorry, ma'am, I can't recall it right now.
Okay. What are your two weaknesses?
My first weakness is sometimes I get language barrier. I'm not very much fluent in English, but I am currently working on it. And second weakness is sometimes I get a little bit emotional at some point of time.
Exactly. So how are you working on it?
For my language improvement, I have downloaded an app known as Duolingo. On there, I used to like I gave my 30 minutes a day to practice on my verbal communication.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What about the emotional part?
And on emotional part, I have not done anything that like I used to listen to some music to cheer me up, and next day I carry
So
forward.
yes, no. How do you react in high pressure situations? Say for example, it's 2 a.m. and you know that you're not doing completely well. You have maybe some issues, personal issues going on, and you come to know that you have to submit, say, a presentation latest by 8 a.m. for which you have to work with three more people. Two of them are not in college. How will you do it?
Okay. So first of all, I know that a professional life and personal life should be separated. So that inner feeling about I would like not it would affect my professional life.
How
And
can you guarantee that? You're just human.
as I said, I am optimistic and I will give my 100% to a dedicated work, irrespective of my position. So I think I would be able to handle it.
Okay. Have Have you ever had to manage a team of people? Say,
Yes, ma'am. When I was elected as an office bear, I was in charge of 250 students. I was a link between students' query and vice principal. So there was an issue of water coolers in our school. So the students raised that problem to me. Uh, I further managed to inform our vice principal to install some water coolers for our school. Apart from that, I have participated in annual functions and fate competitions. I used to organize with people.
hmm. Apart from your optimism, what else do you think is your strength that we could use for, like, in you as a candidate over here?
I think my social skills would be good enough to serve on this platform.
Everybody has social skills, almost everybody. And if not, then then they get developed over the course of 2 years. What's so special about yours?
I used to cheer my team a lot, irrespective of my position. If I am not a leader, it's okay. But when we are assigned in a group of team members, so I insist them. I also used to promote them to complete a dedicated work in a time.
Mhm. Okay. Okay, that will be all. Your views,
I think it was an average performance uh, or below average.
reasons for that?
Uh, I don't have that points to convince you. I don't think you were listening properly to my queries. Don't take it otherwise. I think I was not able to convince you from my answers.
Okay. So I was listening. Then moving on, T-shaped curriculum. It's a good thing to say, but I hope that you know exactly what it means. You said you were interested in raising funds. Angel investors are one of the key ways where how startups raise funds. So you need to be very well informed with the entire idea. Who's an angel investor? What do they take in return? What do they gain out of it? What does debt and equity mean? If you're saying that they take equity, then you should know what equity means. Or you can just say that they want some share in the company. That's an easier way to say, but still you should know what equity means. You have pretty good skills when you say that you had that whole zoo thing and stuff, but you need to have a little more confidence when you tell me everything. And just saying that you're optimistic doesn't cover how you'll keep your personal and professional life separate, because once you say that you're an emotional person, it's completely fine, but this question can definitely pop up, that if you're disturbed on a personal level, how do you ensure 100% performance on the professional side? And yeah, it's not a very I would say very well formatted, and there's no well formatted answer to that, but you just need to be convincing enough that you can keep your professional requirements and your commitments over and like above your personal issues. Try to be a little more clear about what do you want to join when you went to MBA. Again, as I think I told Soumya that as 23, 24 years old, they expect you to have a little understanding of where you want to go. The thing where you say that I want to explore first and then I'll just figure out where I want to go is a very generic answer, and try not to give that. You have a good set of skills, but please be more forthcoming and not try to sound more confident. Video editing, marketing is a very easy link that can be picked up. Make sure that you have some basic understanding of what advertising is, what is Google Ads, what is SEO, SEM, because it can video editing can be very easily led to those questions. And these things are very common, so you're expected to know. If you have joined a startup, I didn't quiz you on that, but as you say the term startup, a lot of questions pop up right there. They can quiz you about which is the latest unicorn, what is happening in the startup world, how many unicorns are there, anything, and you're expected to know. Just try reading it once or twice. Keep a few pointers in your head. Maybe you can even have some startup whose philosophy you like, or some startup owner whom you like, and maybe look up to a little bit, so they can have a better understanding of you as a person. What else? You mentioned all like marketing, ops, and sales, the subjects that were taught in first year. But when you're mentioning that, I hope you know something what goes into them, because we know the subjects we're being taught over here, but when you're saying everything, you need to know a little bit, and you just don't need to just throw out words over there. Have some understanding. Okay. And okay, you're trying to improve your language barriers. That's good. Try to be more confident, be more fluent. If it helps you for all these questions or similar questions, have 2-3 points readily available, so that you can mix and match and use them as per your convenience for any answer that you may be required to tell. Okay, that will be all. Anything you want to ask? No, it's fine. Okay. Vishakha is left, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Vishakha. How are you today?
I'm good, ma'am. How are you?
I am great. How do you look? Great. 1 second. Just let me ping you. Okay. Vishakha, what all calls do you have?
Ma'am, I have IIM CAPS, IIM Amritsar. I have other college options too, but I'm not going for that.
Perfectly okay. I could IIM for something. It's perfectly fine. When you leave an IIM, students to come to you and ask, like, you were in IIM, dude. Why did you have to leave it? You'll be like, because I have dreams, man. You should never let go of your dreams, even though they'll be hard to achieve. And, sometimes the people closest to you will doubt you. You should always trust yourself.
Yes.
What's your CAT percentile?
Ma'am, 80.
Okay. Fine. Introduce yourself, please.
Ma'am, my name is Vishakha Singh. Currently, I'm pursuing BBA from Sherwood College of Professional Management. My hobbies are cooking, dancing, and I like to watch Netflix in my free time. My strengths are that I'm adaptable in any situation and I have people skills. Also, I am self-motivated person. If you talk about my weakness, then I'm not very good at expressing my feelings toward people. And somewhat I get nervous while communicating. with other people's, cause I'm an introvert, yet I'm working on it. Will sure improve it.
You were telling me that you're an introvert and you're unable, you find it hard to express yourself to people. Then you also tell me that your strength is that you have good people skills. Aren't those two things contradictory?
Ma'am, as I said, I have good people skills. I can understand what other person is feeling, what he's about to say, or if he has in trouble, or if he is in trouble or he can't be able to express his feeling, I can communicate with that.
Sure. Uh, do you follow the news?
No, ma'am.
You should.
No, but now I have started reading business newspapers.
How many unicorns are there in India currently?
I don't know.
Okay. Would you happen to know any unicorn, any new unicorn maybe? Do you know what is a unicorn?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me.
Ma'am, a unicorn basically symbolize a symbol.
Yeah, go on. I think bad internet. I hope I didn't scare her off. Meanwhile, guys, you should really read up on unicorns. It's a very, very hot topic. It's always asked in MBA interviews. They just assume that because you come into MBA, you would be interested in building a unicorn yourself. Hi, Vishakha, you're back.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, my network.
Completely fine.
Ma'am, a unicorn, I think, basically symbolize a capital, I think, if I'm not wrong.
What sort of capital?
Ma'am, I'm not aware about it.
Sure. What do you like to cook?
Ma'am, veg pulao, sandwiches. I made coffees and ma'am, everything. Best I could is veg pulao and cheese sandwiches.
Okay. What was the last thing you watched on Netflix?
Ma'am, currently I am watching Wednesday, and the last series I had watched was Friends.
Friends is pretty old.
Yes, ma'am, but I have started watching it from 2021.
And you haven't finished?
No, ma'am, I finished it long ago. If you ask what else I have watched, then ma'am, Vampire Diaries, Friends, Lucifer, and yet I'm on Wednesday.
I can kind of build up a profile of what you're interested in watching. Okay. Anything else that you think, how is Netflix going to help you? It's your hobby after all.
Ma'am, I was not very good at my vocabs. Netflix helped me to improve my communication, as it also helped me to improve my English. So,
okay. And what about dancing?
ma'am, I have participated in school program, and yet I do performance in my college programs.
You're a BBA graduate, yeah, right? Are you still pursuing graduation or is it complete?
Ma'am,
still pursuing. What's your favorite subject?
Ma'am, right now in 5th semester, we have different semesters. We have different subjects in all semesters. Right now I'm in 5th semester, so my favorite subject is risk insurance.
And what do you wish to pursue? Do you wish to pursue finance?
Ma'am, in HR.
HR. Okay, sure. Okay, you wish to pursue HR, and you're trying to gain over your introvertness and your nervousness. It's a little. I mean, it's difficult, don't you think? With HR, you need to interact with people all the time.
Ma'am, yet I am trying. This will help me and challenge my skills. So I think this will be the only one domain which will help me to improve myself, and yet I can prove myself.
Are you joining MBA just to improve your personal skills?
No, ma'am. To improve my personality, to improve overall me, and I think HR will be the best domain course which help me to do. And I have some skills which comprise HR too.
Example?
Ma'am, as I told, I have good people skills. I can manage things very well, and I can understand people's
So
emotions.
looking for personality, MBA is a very vast course. You could have just done maybe a psychology course or a personality development course, and you would have been fit to interact with people more.
Yes, ma'am, you're right. But as I can see myself, I wanted to do MBA in HR because I have that quality that I don't want to go in any other path. I just want to make sure that I do fit here.
So what have you gained out of BBA?
Sorry, ma'am.
What have you gained out of BBA?
Ma'am, a lot of experience, how a company works, how business works, how things work in an industry.
If you've already learned that, then what is the point of doing MBA, Vishaka?
Ma'am, just now I have learned the basics. In MBA, I will able to learn more about it, and I will be able to practice it in practical way, just not in theoretical way.
Have you done any internships or any projects?
No, ma'am. I had an opportunity to do internship, but that time I was not well, so I missed that opportunity.
Okay. Do you have any academic projects that you might have done during BBA?
No, ma'am.
So in BBA, you must have also studied a bit of marketing, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Say I want to launch a new Maggie noodle. What all factors do I keep in mind?
Ma'am, that it contains new ingredient, it tastes different, and it has people liking what people and what customers are wanting, what they are expecting. We could be able to make it better.
If I were to think from an industry point of view, the points I should really take care about or be okay, never mind. What was I going to ask? I just forgot. New ingredients, what customer want. Are you familiar with Porter's 5 forces?
No, ma'am.
Do you follow anything on, say, news or television? News in general. Okay. What's your favorite advertisement?
Ma'am, Lace, Cadbury, and Maggie.
Why?
Ma'am, as I told you, I have interest in cooking, so the things which include foods make me more interested.
Why Cadbury advertisement? Just because it's food?
No, ma'am. Ma'am, Cadbury advertisement, as in the advertisement they show on television, it was very emotional and it shows how to connect with people. Like their slogan is "Kuch meetha ho jaye," and they always.
That's no way in kind of in any way emotional. It's just that you should have something sweet.
Yes, ma'am, but the point of view they show is to connect with people, to share your feelings with your people.
How is it different from, say, a Maggie advertisement?
There is no difference, but in Cadbury the advertisement they always say kuch meetha ho jaye, as in we about to start new things. We should we start to as we are about to start new things. We always start with eating sweet, and in Maggi advertisement they always show the taste and how quick it cooks.
Let me just get a perspective. Have you had any subjects related to marketing or strategy in BBA?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Anything else that you find interesting in your undergrad?
Ma'am, I like to play outdoor games.
Give me examples.
Ma'am, Kho, badminton.
To what level do you like to play them?
I have played Kho in my college in inter-college competition, and we got third prize. And ma'am, badminton, I was like, I only played to enjoy it.
How are you working on your introversion?
I try to communicate with new people, and I'm also practicing to read newspaper in front of mirror.
But reading the newspaper in front of the mirror won't really help with introversion, right? That's better for maybe pronunciation skills.
Yes, ma'am. But as I told you, sometimes I get nervous while I speaking, or so this interrelates my introvertness, so I could do that.
Okay, relax. It's over. Fine. So tensed. Okay, Vishakha, you have give me your overview of your interview.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, this
Give
was
me your views.
the view I had given. The last two interviews which Dev sir held it, I was not well that time. So this was my first interview that I have given, and I know I was not properly delivered my answers, and yet I have to practice my basics too. Surely I will do that.
Have you already gotten the dates for your interviews?
Right night now, the internet shows the cap calls will held on February 2nd week.
Not very far.
Yes, ma'am.
February 2nd week could be as far as just one Monday.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you have a lot of things to improve upon. First of all, you couldn't, so see, you're a fresher, right? You're just pursuing your MBA. So it gives your undergraduation becomes the first point that I can quiz you about. You're doing BBA, and that's directly connected with what you're doing in MBA, right? So it's like MBA is the natural next way to go after BBA. So they won't really quiz you about that. But when you told me that you want to do an HR domain course, and then you shifted to how MBA is a personality development thing, it became very focused. And considering your undergraduation is also in this commercial studies sort of a course, so I need you to have a better, like a more understanding of what goes into launching a new product than just understanding new ingredients and what the customers want. You need to think that, okay, you need to decide, you need to think from the company's perspective, that they need to understand the customer POV. That's completely fine, but what else will go into it? The price, how will you launch the product, what advertisement will you use, how will you decide that, where all places will you place your product? So try to have a more 360-degree view of the situation, of the question as well. When you tell me your favorite advertisements are Lay's, Cadbury, and Maggie, please don't answer that it's because it's food. Try to give a more creative answer to that. You can say that Cadbury has maybe say a wonderful storyline. Maggie has a very nostalgic point of view, so you connect to Maggie on a different level because you've loved eating Maggie say at 2 a.m. in the night. And Lay's is just your go-to snack, and it's always the ad pops up into your head when you're in the market. Don't give the answer that you like food. Just please don't.
Okay.
And okay, strengths, adaptable, people, self-motivated, fair enough. The understanding and feeling part kind of connects with the HR domain course, but still, I would like you to have a better understanding of why MBA and not just MBA HR. You don't know if HR is the thing that you will be able to get afterwards. Considering you have IIM call, so first you will be studying everything. And for that, you can't be focused on HR because HR is just 3 subjects in the first year. Rest of it is everything else. And you have to excel at everything to be able to, keep your position in that college. So show that openness that you're going to study everything. What is a unicorn? And unicorn is a company, a startup which has the value of $1 billion. Please get familiar with that. Know some unicorns. I hope all of you please just Google what Darwin box is. Please Google it right now. I'll write the spelling in the chat if you want. So, I actually asked the same question to Rudra. I am surprised why didn't any of you Google it that time? You should have. So Darwin Box is a human resource management platform. It basically helps companies understand how and whom to hire, how to decide what compensation to be given. And they have really big clients, like clients as big as Adani Wilmar. So they have been in the news quite a lot. So it's expected out of you to know, maybe if not Darwin Box, know about some other unicorn, guys. Unicorns is a very common question. I cannot emphasize enough. How a company works, how a business works was a very generic answer again for why did you do BBA and what did you learn out of it. Try to give a more specific answer if you developed any skills. What else do you carry forward to MBA from your BBA college? Because you will be going as a fresher. You don't have any work experience, which would have helped you gain any other skills as such.
Yes, ma'am.
And okay, you cannot express yourself as easily. That's okay. Wednesday, friends, please don't tell my Bio Diary student. It's very cliche. Don't tell it. People don't watch it half the time. And Lucifer also is just don't. It places you in a sort of a very, I would say, a very niche category of viewers, and doesn't really give very exploratory questions to that. Try watching something which enhances your knowledge to some extent. Even I watched Wednesday. It's completely fine. Entertainment is in its own place, but try to increase your knowledge about something. Maybe watch a few documentaries, watch a few interesting movies like Pursuit of Happiness or Forrest Gump or something. And I'm sure Sir would have mentioned these names because he mentioned them to us also. And try watching them and gain something out of them. Your hobbies were in place. I didn't quiz you much about BBA because I'm not much of a finance person myself. But make sure that all your concepts regarding that are very clear. And 2 places you use the word matlab instead of meaning. Try to avoid that. Be a little conscious. I know it happens sometimes, but just try to be a little conscious of that. And start new things. Listen, into college got third prize. Okay. The Coco part, I think you could include in your tell me about yourself thing only. It shows you as a more diverse person, and MBA requires diverse people, especially if you're a fresher. What else? The helps vocabulary reasoning which you gave for the why Netflix question was good enough.
Yes,
I think that works. Wednesday is just 8 episodes, dude. How are you watching? It's been so
I
long.
just started watching this last night. From last night.
Okay, sure. Fine. I think that will be all for your feedback. Everybody for the interview is done, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody left? No, 5 interviews. Okay. Cool. Guys, do you have any other questions for me? Anything you want to know about MBA over here or in IIMs or anything? Wow.
How was IIM Rohtak?
What?
How was IIM Rohtak?
See, it's not a bad place. I still have friends there. There are good opportunities over there. It's just that I aspired for something different. And still, I maintained my CQPI over there also. Oh, by the way, wow, CQPI ka full form is a good question. Please write that down. CGPA and CQPI ka full form can be asked. It's a very weird question, but it can be asked. What else was I saying? Yeah. So IIM has a good enough culture, and I studied there for 1 year, and it was mostly online. I chose not to go to the campus because I wanted to pursue CAT again. But since that CAT is not really a fixed deal, I didn't know if I would qualify a second time, so I had to continue studying that. Oh, hi, Parijat.
Hi, Aditi ma'am. Good evening.
You've joined us since so long, but I get to see you now. So, do you please introduce yourself? Who are you?
Yeah, actually, I just joined it due to some office work. So that was the reason you are seeing me right now. So my name is Parijat, and currently I belong to Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. And in my family, I'm the only child of my parents, and both of my parents are working professionals. Right now, I'm working here in Mumbai as a business development executive. So, and some of my strengths include taking initiatives and creativity at my work. And
Where
my
in Mumbai are you
weaknesses,
working?
I'm working in Synix Group, which is an event management firm.
Sure, that would be fun. So, yeah, as I was saying, I wasn't satisfied with IIM Rohtak, so I switched to Xlri, and the culture over here is very different. I think Excel culture is Excel culture. It's different from IIMs because the kind of connections you make with your senior batch and your junior batch is on a different level from IIM Rohtak. All IIMs that I know of, and we get to network, so we have people we know in every college, so we can always compare notes. And yeah, I enjoy Excel pretty much. Here I've gotten to explore a lot of things. I am a part of the dramatics and the cultural committee, and even in IIM Rohtak I was a part of the cultural committee only. And over here I have also gotten to explore the dance society, which falls under my purview. And I am also a member of a few other committees, which I cannot tell you because of confidentiality purposes. And yeah, I think that's all that I am had to offer.
And then the Xlri interview experience, I think I might get a call. So something. Do they ask anything that is specific or different from IIMs or?
Yeah. So see, when you get an Xlri call, you will once you make the cut, you will get a form where you have to give answers to a few questions, about 4 to 5 questions. And if you are also, did you fill for HR also?
No.
Cool. I also didn't fill for HR. So you will get to they'll ask you 4 questions. Those answers cannot be saved, but I'll advise you to save them on your personal front because they'll cross question you on that later on. So just keep those answers with you. And if you remember, there must have been a little essay sort of thing in the ZAT paper also. Yeah,
Yes,
so
yes.
they have access to those answers as well. So just try if you can, remember some of the points what you wrote, keep them written down somewhere so that you can cross reference. And that interviews are 35 to 40 minutes, very
Okay.
grilling. 3 people interview at the same time.
Oh, so 3 candidates at the same time.
No, 3
3
professors.
panelists. Okay.
Yeah, 3 panelists interview at the same time. And what else was new? The questions come everywhere. They won't let you finish even one answer. And just try not to, let that befuddle you in any way. Be sure of what you're saying. Don't be very arrogant about anything. Don't be very stoic about anything. Try to show flexibility and openness. And if any of you by chance get an IIFT call, then IIFT interviews are different from all others because the panelists do not switch on their cameras. You cannot see them, so you can only hear their voice, which is usually very stern and kind of very demanding, like how an angry professor would sound. So those are high stress interviews. And I think Indore and Kozhikode also have some stress levels to them. So just not let that stop you from giving a confident answer in any way, because not seeing the panelist actually, you can't really understand their facial expressions. So that doesn't let you know how your answer was or how did they feel about your answer. So that's a lacking point over there. Apart from that, ZAT has a lot of GK questions. So make sure that your knowledge about current affairs is up to the mark. If you don't know anything, just tell them that you don't know. Don't try to whip up an answer on point. Don't try to Google an answer if you have an online interview. It'll land you in trouble, trust me. I didn't land in trouble, but yeah, it happened. And if you get any of my profs, oh my God, I hope what's with you. So I mentioned BCG Matrix Porter's 5 forces. Just Google that once. It's the very basic of marketing, especially the candidates who are from a commerce background. It's expected to know that. Even if you don't know the depth answer of it, just have an overview, what it is, what does it do, how does it help you. Anybody if you by chance mention in your interviews that you are willing to pursue marketing and strategy, then these 2-3 things, just Google once the basic frameworks of marketing and strategy and stuff. You will find out few frameworks. Just try to keep some of it in your mind. Because they are the basic questions they ask you once you say that marketing is your preferred vertical. If you say finance, then the ratios, as I think I asked someone. So the ratios are an important question. How do you understand the financial health of company? Would you invest? Would you not invest? I didn't ask any of you about the stock market. Is any of you interested in stock market? Because that's also a very important point in case you say that interested in the stock market. So if any of you is interested in that, you could keep a little tab on what are the major happenings. Like right now, the Adani stock has fallen a lot. So keep a tab on that. What was the closing price of the day you are giving the interview? They can even ask that. That's a very bizarre question, but it can come. What else? If you have any quirky hobbies, if you want to really kind of stand out, I don't know if you guys have the time to pull it off, but if you have a very different sort of hobby, such as playing violin or playing poker, then just reading a lot about it and hoping that you don't get a violin or poker enthusiast as a panelist can fetch you quite a few marks. Because cricket and football are very common hobbies. And generally, whichever panelist is interviewing you would know a lot about it. Cricket, football, reading, dancing. Very common hobbies. Everybody likes doing these things. So they can cross question you on and on. One of my friends had an interview which was more about cricket than about MBA. What is a pitch? What is this and what is that? Everything. I don't know that much stuff, but it was asked. So if you're saying that you have a hobby, then be sure you're thorough with some technicalities of it also. And other than that, okay, it's just an interview. Don't stress out. Vishakha, you were very stressed out. Please calm down. Rudra, please smile. Please don't look at the interviewer so angrily. He's just doing a job. It's his job to put you in a high pressure situation. You can be asked situational questions also. Like I asked, I think him only that you get a presentation at 2 a.m. or something. So things like that can also be asked, because that's a very common thing to be asked, situational questions, because situation is basically what you have to handle eventually. That being said, yeah, chill out, all the best. You will do, just be prepared, keep on reading stuff. Reading helps a lot. Download maybe FinShorts to have little financial knowledge in shorts for the 60-word knowledge grabs that it provides. It can equip you with the basic current affairs that are happening in the world and the country. It's a good way to go about. Reading helps, and make sure you are thoroughly prepared with all your undergraduation subjects. And if you've done a post-graduation, then they expect you to know a little more, be more clear about your future goals. So, okay, that will be that's all that I can offer right now. Okay. 1 second. Okay, guys, anything more that you want to know?
No, I'm nothing. But at last, I would say that thank you for taking the time and being here. You have added a new perspective where we can prepare upon, and it will surely help in our interviews. And I would like all of my batchmates, classmates to add a feedback for you. Thank you note feedback, 15 to 20 seconds.
My God, have you been a GD moderator before?
No, no, ma'am.
But it's a good quality, if you have a GD, if you lead a GD, it's a good quality.
Thank you. So, starting with Soumya.
Me or?
Thank you, ma'am, for today's session. It was really very helpful. And that situational type of question that was out of the box for me. So I would work on that questions as well. And I would enhance my confidence also.
Anyone can go next. Soumya Singh.
Thank you, ma'am. The points you have mentioned, I will surely work on it. And if we met next time, you will see the change in me. Thank you so much for correcting me, ma'am.
All the best. All the best.
Similar. Thank you so much, ma'am, for all your inputs. They were very specific and tailored to us, so that helped a lot. And thank you for your experiences also. I hope that we shall meet soon if I get to that.
Definitely. I look forward to it. Okay. So last note from me, all the best. And you will do well. Just try to be more confident and make sure that you get your point through without sounding very adamant about it. And I think that's all. All the best to all of you. Hope you get the calls you want.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Have a good day.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good night, ma'am.